All right, what is going on? TubeUbe, welcome back to the Plot Coalition channel. Very excited to have you guys here. We have a fun stream planned for today. We're going to be jumping in, playing a little bit of Red Dead Redemption 2, just to kind of see if there are any elements we can pick up on. We'll do a quick mission, then I will take you guys into Unreal Engine to start diving into stuff for the short. We're going to be finishing building out, well, hopefully finishing building out the interior of one of the sets today, which will be super duper exciting. But first I want to give a shout out to this project sponsor, Rococo. If you guys are interested in doing motion capture or animation for yourself, I highly recommend checking out their products. This is the head rig that they sent me for this project. It's super fantastic. Throw it on your head, super adjustable, really durable, and it puts your phone, or if you want to use facial mocap cameras, if you have those, but chances are you probably have an iPhone. You throw it in there and you can get great performance capture straight into Unreal Engine. It's fantastic. Go check out Rococo. I have a link in the description, and yeah, pick yourself up some cool gear. But all right, we are going to dive right into Red Dead Redemption 2. And hopefully this still works, because I know last stream I had some issues. It's been a couple of weeks since I streamed, but I think we're in the clear. Hey, look, we're rocking and rolling. All right, so I remember this had happened last time. There was an issue. Snake. There was an issue before where we did a whole mission and it didn't save that progress, which was not great. But for now, we're gonna go. Maybe we'll go see about doing another side mission, because I believe that's what we did last time. I'll have to do that other mission again, so off stream, so we can push onward with the story. But I think for now, we find something we want to do. Maybe not that guy. Ooh, there's a bounty. Or somebody who owns his money or something like that. Over there. That's Bill. Flaco Hernandez. I really don't want to go all the way up there. Let's just kind of start going over here. See what we can see. And we'll make our way around. So really what I want to pay attention for is stuff with animation. That's going to be super important. And then I also want to be looking for interior stuff, because if we're going to go in and build out an environment, I kind of want to pay attention to how they have those sets in here. And even though what I'm trying to replicate is similar to a set in this world, that set, it's the sheriff's office in Valentine, and if you stick around there too long, on the interior they get pretty upset with you. So we will find an interior here, see if we can go inside, look around, see what's there, and then we will jump into Unreal Engine to build it out for this project. So I'm going to cut through the woods, around the river, and through the woods. I should really get to these locations beforehand, or use fast travel or something. But hey, you know what? We're doing it live. We're doing it live. I figure while I do this, one of the things I want to talk. Dear. One of the things that I want to touch base on. So I'm going to change up the video schedule a little bit, just because I was finding that trying to put out a heavy amount of content and at the same time have time to work on this stuff along with my day job and my freelance and all that, it just wasn't cutting it. So I'm gonna scale the amount of content I put out back a little bit. My plan is go live on Thursdays and do devlogs every other Saturday, and then those filmmaker breakdowns of cinematic game trailers once a month. Oh, look at this.
I'm lost out here and I ain't got no food and no water.
I don't trust this
You're
guy.
a good man. A good man.
Yeah, I shouldn't have trusted him.
Just had to ask for help.
Bruh, imagine that. Bro, just... he really couldn't help himself. Alright, let's go find our interior, see what we can see, so we can build out the rest of our environment. Poor dude. I am sure he could have had a much better life, but it's over now. I should probably mark an interior rather than like going out here blindly. Let's do that. Let's look for a place on the map. Oh, Emerald Station, Emerald Ranch. I don't remember. I don't think these have classical interiors. You know what? Screw it. We're going to Valentine. We're going to go try and check out the sheriff's office and see if we can't find what we're looking for. And if he gets pissy at us, then oh well. We'll do our best. Ah, man. But so I want to talk a little bit about what I've been working on with the project. So right now, my main focus has been making the character rigs and everything work. And I actually just hit a pretty significant road bump with that. So I was making some good headway, getting all the new Unreal Engine stuff up and running. It's looking good, working well, all that jazz. And then they pushed out an update and it broke a bunch of stuff, which is rather unfortunate. But thankfully some other parts of the tools still work, and I'll be able to show you that here in a little bit. It's going to be part of what our, hey, see these animals? York Reacts on YouTube animated those guys. You should go check them out. Yeah, so I've been working with the character models, trying to get them working in Unreal Engine 5.4, and they pushed out a new update and it broke a bunch of stuff, which was rather unfortunate, but you know, just one of those things that happened. And I've been rebuilding some of the character rigs, but I'm gonna kind of scale back how intense I was trying to be with them, because I was trying to use the new tools to build out full IK animation systems, which again, we're working pre-update. They pushed out the patch update and it broke all of them. So that's just one of those production setbacks. But thankfully, the way that we recorded it and set everything up, we should be pretty well in the clear. So we are going to give it a go, just pressing on with how it is. One of the main things that I need to... Oh, it's the blind guy. And we'll come back to you. But one of the main things with it that I need to focus on is there's actually film expose, film festival kind of thing that I was a judge for, and I talked to the people putting it on about featuring a trailer and O'Driscoll's.
You want to get nuts? You're about to meet your sorry fate.
Alright, that's taken care of. But, yeah, so I was able to work on, like, judge some films for that. Really cool process. I didn't kill any civilians, did I? Nope, only O'Driscoll's. Yeah. Oh, it looks like they killed a bunch of people, though. Well, you know what? Sometimes... Is my horse dead? Oh, my word. What was I even talking about? Oh, yeah. So I'm part of this film festival I was a judge for it, film festival, expose kind of thing in my local area, and I asked them like, hey, like if I had like a teaser ready, you know, would you be interested in showing it? And they said yes. So one of my main focuses is going to be taking the animations and stuff that I do have, kind of focusing on what's the best bets to put together a quick trailer for that, since it's in a few weeks. But it's one of the reasons that we're going to focus on building out the environment, because that needs to be done before, you know, even any of those renders can be made. And the animation already looks really good coming out of mocap. It needs very little cleaning, especially with the new Unreal Engine 5.4 workflows. So it's going to be pretty good. We're getting real close. Let's go in and check out the sheriff's office. Get a refresher on what it looks like on the inside. I do need to finish building the exterior, because right now it's pretty bare bones. But I'm also working on getting nanite tessellation and everything working. But I mean, we're in a pretty good place. It also helps that the film that I wrote takes place at night, so that'll help us out some. All this is going to be laid out a little bit differently, but
Ain't this a pleasant surprise?
there's the deputy. So I think like the main it's a little bit different than what I have and how we blocked it out with the actors, but I think it'll certainly work. I think like main thing would be they have like this bed in the back over here, which could be an interesting ad.
You had your fun, now pack it up.
Hey, yo, chill out. I don't know why I can't talk to him, but alright, I'll leave him alone.
You ain't as dumb as you look.
Trying to take one last look before I go, before I leave. Yeah, so the layout of the building that I'm working on is a little bit different interior-wise, and the exterior is a little, just a tad different, but I don't think it'll be too bad. Especially because, once again, it's at night. It doesn't take place in the same year as this game does. This game takes place in 1899. This one takes place probably like 15 years earlier. So maybe the sheriff's office burned down, or they remodeled it or something. And they tried to keep it as close as possible. It is interesting. Man, I gotta get back in there, because now I want to look and see what the jail cell looks like. So I should probably double check. It's probably brick on the inside too, which could be really neat, really neat texturing, especially with nanite tessellation. Yep, that is bricked up. That was cringe. All right, we're leaving. Don't yell at us. All right. Cool. All right, so I think I have a pretty good idea of where this is looking. I think we're pretty close, and we'll be able to build off from here. So, unless anybody thinks otherwise, I will probably get ready to switch over to Unreal. Oh, there's the sheriff.
Fixing to intimidate me?
See, our sheriff is pre this guy. In our story, this guy
Thank you for keeping us
took
all
over
safe,
after the sheriff in our story.
sir. I really appreciate your service.
So it's pre this guy getting the job.
Okay, move yourself along.
Whoa, jeez.
There
Hey,
you
yo.
go.
I was just trying to get a good look at your character model. I swear. What's nice is I don't have to do a ton of foliage painting for this film. There are obviously some trees and stuff and like all that, and like little bits of grass that'll be near the sheriff's office and stuff. Man, it's really hard to be a criminal and an artist at the same time. Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of grass. It's pretty barren. Some flowers. Looks nice. I also want to try and do snow. That's going to be something I'm going to challenge myself with. A little bit of that springtime snow, and then obviously those mountains in the background. All right, cool. I think this is a pretty good place. I don't think we need to play any missions or anything tonight because I do want to hop in. I got a lot of work to do in the Unreal Engine side, so we're going to jump into there. Take a quick break so that I can switch everything over. But once we are in Unreal Engine, I will kind of show you some of the stuff I've been working on, and then we will get into building out that interior environment, and I can show you what I already have started. So go ahead and stick around. I'll be right back.
Don't stop. Run.
I have returned. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to jump right in here, show off a little bit of what I've been working on. And I kind of want to show you guys something sort of funny, sort of interesting, just so you can get an idea of like what the development process is like for something like this. Before we go much further, I just want to remind anybody who wants to become a member, you can do so right on YouTube. That's going to kind of be my version of Patreon for anybody who's been asking about that. Become a member. You can become my little buddies. We already got some little buddies in there. So if you want to become a member, you get extra perks and all sorts of fun jazz like that. But let's jump right into Unreal. All right, so this is what I want to show you. We decapitate people around here. It's a whole process. So this is an example of like the iterative process of making these characters, right? So like we have this guy and like all these models as far as like their appearance, like their facial appearance is based on the actors themselves. And then, you know, like the actor didn't have hair quite like this. That's all added after the fact. But like as far as like the facial structure, bone structure, like it's very similar to what the actors look like in real life, just with a little bit of tweaking in MetaHuman, make them look more like the character that was in my head while I was writing. But so this is a good example. This is actually a model from Red Dead Redemption. It's pretty low quality because, you know, these models were meant to be looked at from a distance of about here, which at this distance it looks fantastic. I was having some issues rigging and setting up some of the characters, which was giving problems. But now I have it set up a lot better, so we have a different character model. But I was using this as kind of a placeholder just so I could see how the body performance and everything was looking. And with the new retargeting tools in Unreal Engine 5.4, which I'll talk about in the video on Saturday, it makes it super easy to get the same animation transferred to, you know, any of these characters. But then, then there's just, you know, a few different versions of that. So like this version, you know, the body started working, but then the head was disconnected here. So I tried putting like this handkerchief on him. Wasn't quite working. This guy's just straight up headless because the model wasn't working. And it's just iterating again and again and again. And that's kind of what the process looks like now. This character, I can pull up his latest blueprint, is completely fixed. He's got a neck, he's got a head, his body works. The main thing that's not working right now is the control rig, and that stopped working post the new update, which was kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the level to start building out the rest of the environment that I have. And I can kind of show you a little trick that I use while building that out so it can kind of be to scale. So we're going to go in my maps folder and sheriff office. Save selected. Here we go. We're inside. I already started building it out. So here, and as you can see, this is a little bit flip-flopped around. It's not exactly like it was in-game, but really like once we build this out, it's going to feel pretty small. It's going to feel like right about here. Because like all of this will kind of be knocked out as well. But I can show you my little trick. So if you go down to, let's see here, close that dialog box. Test, cinematics, and is this the one? I've made so many of these test sequences now, and like jail cell blocking, that's the one. So what you can see here is I have like the two characters that are in the scene. I have them just moving around as the Unreal Engine mannequins, but it gives me a good sense of like where they need to be positioned. So when I do animation and line everything up, it fits a whole lot better. And right now these are using mega scans, texture assets. They look great. That one's a little stretched, but we'll see how it looks in the final. But they're looking fantastic, and I'm going to look into enabling nanite tessellation to just draw more geometry out from that. But this helps really build out the world, so like even when this character walks around, I can kind of see like how far they need to be. They kind of drift into their next position because some stuff wasn't quite lining up. That's okay. And then like when they reach over to the wall here, like that's its own separate thing. But it kind of gives me a nice idea of where they're all going to be, and I can build around them while working on it. For the purposes of like what we're doing today, I don't think I will. I think we'll be pretty to the point. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to close the sequence. They'll snap out. And I'm just going to hide both of those guys so we can build everything kind of around them without them being in the way. And if you guys have any questions while I work on this, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer those to the best of my ability. So I'm going to drop into my Megascans 3D assets. And I need to find, actually what I might do is just filter these by static mesh. That way I can just drag them straight out of this bin instead of going and searching for them. And these are all from the Megascans library. So they are all free to go, grab, download, whatever you want to do. And they're fantastic. So, as you can see, like right here, like look how freaking good that looks. It's incredible. So we'll line this up along the ceiling, and this will give a good idea of like where the ceiling should be. Maybe just give it a little bit of a set there. And scale it down just a little bit. So it fits all the way across. I'll slide it down. I don't want it to be like 100% perfect because like something like this definitely would not have been back in the olden days. And I think I'm just going to use the same wood piece on all three sides because I don't anticipate that you're going to be looking up here. I mean, you guys watching, you probably will, but anyone else, won't be to Wiza. So we'll kind of slot that all into place. Maybe flip that 180 degrees so they kind of butt into each other. And do the same on the other side, which this side still needs a wall, but let's see. I'm mainly looking to see if there's anything that you would see repeating, but you definitely would not because it's the same side as this. And that part is gonna be kind of hidden right here. So maybe we even add I mean, maybe we just go all the way across. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I need a beam kind of going right down the middle here, which I won't give any spoilers as to why, but it is a story element. So maybe we go 90 degrees and drop this in next to it. And kind of align. And push it all the way to the edge of the ceiling. And that should work because that's going to come all the way out to this wall. Maybe I'll just scale it up just a hair. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to like focus on how would this actually be built, but also how is it going to work for my story. And I think that it's feeling pretty good. And then maybe I'll add another one over here. And what I love about like working in Unreal and this kind of workflow is it's legit. It's playing with Legos. You jump in here. You got your Lego bricks, which are just these photorealistic assets. And you build. It is a ton of fun. So if you ever want to get into this space, it's just building Legos, which is pretty rad. All right, so we'll do that there, and then maybe I'll do one more just above that. That looks good. And I'll do one more all the way at the end here. Those beams feel pretty good. I'm not gonna put a roof on just yet because we have the rest of the interior to build out, but like that's a very good starting place. It's a good place to be as far as like getting the interior construction done. I guess that probably wouldn't intersect quite like that. So maybe we do have this one intersect just a hair. Boop. Maybe I can do something about that a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so there's those ones. And then maybe I'll duplicate one of these. And just bring it to the back of the wall. There we go. I think that's a good place. We'll do the same on this side. We'll grab another beam just to have some variety. Nobody is going to notice until like there's an obvious repetition. So let's not allow that. Goodness gracious, these assets. The fact that Unreal Engine just like made these free. Absolutely insane. All right. I don't really want it to go quite like that. But maybe, hey, you know what? I'm like overthinking it because I know like where the camera and everything is going to be looking. So I shouldn't be too worried. And this is going to extend outside because we're not going to see. This is the interior set. Maybe the whole thing just needs to move up. Let's try that. Just to get the believability. And this is usually the part that tends to take the longest, is just figuring out the exact architecture of all this. That's honestly feeling a bit more believable. And like, again, once there's stuff like the lighting's in there and everything, like nobody's gonna notice most of this. But I'm just trying to catch it now before it ends up, you know, out there in the ether. But I feel like this is feeling pretty good. Like how close you can get. That's insane. And what's cool, so like what's interesting about this and something that I'm trying to be mindful of versus when I was doing New Frontiers is I can do a really small set with like essentially high density assets. And like there were some nice looking sets in New Frontiers, don't get me wrong, but here like I get to be, you know, more compact with it, and I'm building far less sets. You know, there were tons of sets in New Frontiers, and here there's like 2. So I want to make sure they feel nice. But that's feeling pretty good. I'm gonna start laying in some boards. Let's see here. Some old wooden boards. Let's just drag a few into the world. Just to get an idea. And like, I could go in and grab some like some textures and just add them to like essentially planks. I mean, I'm sure there's probably even like some planks in like one of the asset packs, but I think what I kind of want to do is add these in and then add like either a dirt texture or something to the floor, but just have these build out the actual floor so it feels like real wood, in case I ever want that in a shot. You know, there's a good chance that while I'm building out the teaser, like I might be like, oh, it could be cool to have like a shot, you know, moving across the floor or something. So I just kind of want to be able to have those options, especially since, you know, there are far fewer levels that I have to design. So that's what we got for floorboards. Not a bad selection, not a bad selection at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take all these ones because they probably build it long ways out. I'm gonna bring them all to this side of the room, and it would take like legit an eternity to like build this out, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like do like 2 or 3 sections and then duplicate those, have them down on the ground, and I could probably honestly like build this floor out in a blueprint, but I'm just not going to right now. But what I want to do is have these all on the ground, flip them around a few times in different groups, and then just group that together and move the whole floorboard. And that's going to make creating the floor asset, you know, that much quicker. So I actually grew up in like a super old house. The house I grew up in was built in 1791. And so I'm kind of familiar with how some of these I mean, the house I grew up in is older than when Red Dead 2 takes place, so take that into account. But so I'm going to do is use some of these small planks to try and even out and push around these other ones on the floor. Almost as if like they're there just to fill gaps. So I might move this one down a bit. We'll move this nice long piece over. And I guess I can't, like, you know, no complaints here because they used to have to build stuff this way. And it's not as fun as the 3-minute house building sequence in Red Dead 2. You know, that whole thing. It's not as fun when you have to do it all by hand. And in this case, we're just doing it like it's Lego bricks, so I can't complain. Because I used to have to work on floors like this in real life, and it sucks. So, Jojo Siwa would say, "Karma of the bitch, I should have known better." Alright. What I'm hoping, so like, this could either introduce problems or some really interesting things in animation. Because how I'm doing this right now, there is going to be some, we'll call it flex geometry on the floor. And like stuff like this, like we can push it all a little bit closer together. But essentially, like as I put this all together, this one down to this end and this one up just so it doesn't look like there's two stacked ones next to each other. That looks better. And we can start filling this in. But it might cause some foot clipping, which wouldn't be a problem if Unreal Engine figures out why they broke the modular IK rig last night. Because if that gets figured out, we won't have any issues. But alas, it is not figured out. So this pass here. But I honestly don't think it'll be too much of a problem, because if I ever want to show like a close-up of the feet, I think I can get away with it. And I guess like for the jail cell, it probably wouldn't also be wood. I feel like that's kind of unsafe. You know, like a criminal like takes a splinter and stabs the sheriff in the eye. Doink. I don't know. But alright, so now we have all this jazz. Scale it up. Bring it over. Bring it down. Alright. And I'm just going to grab all this this geometry. Yep. And let's just move it down a little bit more. Alright. Cool. And I'm going to create a new folder for all those. We'll call that floor boards. Alright. So now we have like our first set of floorboards, right? So now literally what I can do is I can take this set and I can duplicate all of them and we'll flip it 180. And now we have a whole other floor asset that is going to have a different height because it is the opposite side of the geometry that we just made. And we can inset these a little bit. And this isn't going to particularly look like it's repeating, but if we do it again, we might want to use, you know, a different set of the geometry, and maybe even like reorganize some of this. So I'm gonna start grabbing maybe just some of these longer boards and maybe some short boards, and kind of the thing that like might bite you in the foot in a case like this is like there's sometimes where there's so many unique boards that it looks kind of like it is repeating, but I think in this case we can get away with, just faking it a little bit more, because after we kind of build out this little like sector, I think I'd be okay just duplicating and flipping. So flip that 180, push it up, have it right there, then maybe grab like one of these, flip it on its side, have some thin boards, and really just start to build this out to where it feels like a floor, and then like we can kind of shove extra geometry in some of these holes, or we can just texture the ground, use nanite tessellation, push a little bit of geometry up. So there are a few options here. So let's flip this 180, grab this, flip this 180 degrees. And I like the idea because like floors, like realistically, like they would break like that. So like leaving that in there, I think is a neat texture. Essentially what I want to do here is like just build this to where like these little boards like don't look as repetitive, because I think that would be the main issue right now, is you would see repetition on those boards in particular, whereas if we fill out some of these other ones first and then make the little boards feel a little bit more unique, because they're only going to pop up a couple of times rather than like all the time. So we'll do this. Drop that into the ground. It's feeling pretty good. All right. Speed this process up a little bit. 90 degrees. Up. Over. Alright. Dang, this really is almost as boring as real life. Just kidding, it's a lot more fun. I like focusing on it. As far as like doing it on a stream, I'm like, I don't know, do you guys want to watch me drop floorboards? You tell me. But I think we'll get this in. We'll do some concrete on the floor, and then like I feel like once this is down, like we'll start to see the room really start to come together. I'm like Joanna Gaines, guys. Look at me. I'm doing shiplap flooring. I'm a interior designer. That was supposed to be a hair flip, but Joanna Gaines, I don't know, she uses, I don't even remember what the shampoo brand is now. That was going to be a really bad joke, and I made it worse by not following through on it. Sometimes I say things and I sound like a loser. Alright. Here we go. Alright. So we just about have this to a place where I feel good about, starting to just like rinse and repeat the floor. Because, I mean, once again, the floor is not the main character. We're not looking at the floor in the film. The floor is just part of the world that's being built. And then we can fill the in-between of the floor with dirt, probably. There we go. That feels good. Maybe I'll rotate that one. Just so it's like that. And then I'll be able to group these together and treat them as a singular unit. So I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Let me just finish my floor, guys. Drop this one down, it's a little high. I kind of want to just force this to be like sawed into a square. So maybe I'll take some of these and just stretch them out just a little bit. I think if it's going long ways in the wood, it shouldn't matter too much, because it also just needs to be approximate, you know. And once again, it's the floor. Pretty sure they said in Shawshank Redemption, not Red Dead Redemption, but in Shawshank Redemption, they're like, who's ever looking at a man's shoes? And that's how he escapes prison. Spoiler. Alright. There's one. Flip it. 90. Alright. Yeah, we got a couple people watching. What are you guys up to? You tell me. While I finish up this floor and we get ready to group it together. Like, what's everybody up to? What are you guys doing? I'm just here making silly little films in Unreal Engine. They're actually not that silly. This one's pretty serious. But you get what I mean. I'm just here on my computer. What are you up to? I mean, obviously you're watching me, but like, what have you been up to? How's your week going? Anybody up to anything interesting or fun this week? I mean, if not, that's okay too. I might use this up here. Yep. That could be a floorboard there. We're really, really close, guys. This is just like, I mean, at this point, it's just Jenga. Kind of, not Jenga, Tetris. I was saying Jenga because they're wood, but Tetris is what I meant. Bring this over here. And what's interesting, so like, as these assets kind of come together, you don't notice them repeating as much because they form new shapes in the floor, which is just an interesting observation. So between that, between the lighting, you know, all these other elements that are going to go into making this work, yeah, I think it's going to end up looking pretty good. Flip that around. Maybe inlay it. There you go. I've definitely seen some patchwork like that. It's like, Grandpa, what have you done? He's like, I'm fixing the floors. Back when I was your age, I used to do a terrible job fixing floors, but it was hard work. That's how I'm going to be with my kids. You guys have it so easy these days with your holograms, your nanotech girlfriends. Back in my day, you had to meet a lady on Tinder. For anybody wondering, no, I didn't meet my wife on Tinder. And if she's watching right now, she can back that up. Alright, here we go. Our floor is almost ready to be duplicated into oblivion. Here we go. Alright. So like I had mentioned, this is kind of like all the tedious work you need to do. And like Unreal Engine does have new tools that like help do stuff like this for you. But the way that I'm going to do it is take all this geometry and then just have it grouped together, and it'll just kind of duplicate it across the floor. And it'll make it, you know, a much quicker process. I'm just going to take this same one, flip it around 180 degrees, drop it in. You know, we don't want it to be a perfect little square. We want it to be a little off. Scale that up. All right, here we go. So here we go. We have like this section of the floor. You know, I like having kind of this white background behind it because I can see like what parts of the floor are going to show through. But because I want it to look old, I don't mind that. So we're going to go down. We're going to select all the floorboards. Should be all of them. We're going to hit Control G, and now it's a group. And now I can flip this whole thing over, and it'll act as a single asset. I can bring it over. We can bring it up and do the same thing here. And flip it 180 degrees. And look at that. We're getting like a super varied floorboard asset every time we do this. And we'll do it again. Flip it 180. Bring it up. Bring it over. Rinse and repeat. So this floor in particular, there's some parts of it that do look pretty friggin' ugly. Like these boards right here. Like that's a rough floor to be standing on. So I'll probably ungroup it afterwards because these aren't like stuck together now. They are while I do this part of it, but like then I can just ungroup it and, you know, kind of put things where I need them to be. You know, I'll do like a little bit more of a unique treatment on the other end. Oh, that's scaling them all in different directions. Whoa. Don't want that. I mean, even just like changing the scale a little bit adds even more variation. But, all right. So that covers the majority of our floor. And like I said, we'll have to go in and push some of those boards down so they don't look as ugly. And we'll push some even more over here. And I go up against there. You know what? Forget it. Let's do some outside too. Set them kind of offset up to these ones and duplicate. And duplicate. Now this is like a ton of geometry in the seam, which again, because it's small, I don't mind using a ton of geometry here, but if I was trying to be conservative and build out like a level that like I needed to be larger and more filled out, I might not use this much geometry. But, and probably use what's called instanced geometry. But for the purposes of this, like, I think it'll be fine. But let's go ahead and grab all these again, because now there is a ton of floorboard assets. And we will go. Is it Control G again? Or is it something else? Group. Shift G. Shift G, ungroup. Now we can tweak all these individually. So, like, you know, all these ones that are kind of like too tall, right? We can push a bunch of these down. And what I really want to do is, like, I'm trying to be as, like, non-clinical about this as possible. Like, I want this to look rough. Like these were placed by hand. Not like, you know, they were just kind of dropped in and duplicated. So by grabbing some of them individually and forcing them into the ground, you know, by themselves, like, it's just naturally going to build stuff that looks more hand placed, because, you know, we kind of are hand placing it right now. So you can see just already how much more flat the floor is looking, which is good, so our characters don't clip or anything crazy. That's looking pretty good. Drop it in, drop it in, drop it in. All right. So I'm trying to just concentrate real quick, make sure that these are all kind of laid well. And I do recognize that, like, the more I touch them, the more that, like, there are going to be different ones that look like they pop up. I am aware, trust me. Pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is all directly on the landscape. Or no, I do have a floor. A piece of, like, a cube that I've just turned into the floor. But, I mean, that's looking pretty unbelievable. Don't DMCA me, YouTube. Good, looking good. Like I mentioned, like, the main thing that I want to focus on getting here is, like, building this out, making it look good so I can work on that teaser, which I'll probably upload to YouTube as well, just so it can kind of all hit and, like, people from the film festival, like, know they're on the right channel and stuff like that. Because if they see the trailer there, it'll make more sense. Won't be a release date on it, just because I don't want to rush this one. But I also don't think it's going to take, like, too long to make, because it's only 3 scenes. And, like, just completely different circumstance as far as recording everything goes. It's the real actors, like, doing their performances in the mocap suit and everything. Look at that, guys. We have a floor. Arrar, we have a floor. Cool, let's go grab an asset for the ground. Now, I haven't enabled nanite tessellation yet. You need to go into the, like, source file for the project to build that out. But I think we'll be okay for this bottom layer. I don't think it needs to be anything, like, too special. We just want, I don't know if we want sand. Or I was just starting ground. Just kind of see what assets are here. We just want to get something that's like dirty, but like doesn't look like so outdoorsy. Those are all pine needles. I'm not sure about that. Maybe what's under jungle floor? That's probably going to be more mud. Mud looking. Oh, that one looks pretty good. I say let's go with it. Highest quality. We'll download that asset. They're already nice and compact, which is great for like downloading and throwing assets into your scene. You can also just drag and drop a lot of these assets. But for our case, I like to make sure they're fully added. So we have that now. Ah, shoot. Lost Unreal Engine. I don't remember the last time I saved. Send in restart. Well, that's going to be a minute, but I can give another shout out to the project sponsor, Rococo. If you're into VTubing, you want to make your own animations, stuff like that, check them out. This is their head rig. They sent it to me for this project. It's a fantastic, fantastic piece of hardware. Affiliate link is in the description. Go check that out. We're back in Unreal. We're back up. We're running. Let's check our sheriff's office. How much did we lose? How much progress did we lose? I don't think we lost any. I'm pretty sure I did an instinctive save. Now I will say those floorboards look kind of little. They're kind of small, but I think it'll be okay. Although it does look kind of almost more medieval. I wonder if I can just grab all of them since they're not in a group anymore. I will say this is something you kind of want to be paying attention for, is like having characters and stuff in your scene to know if you're doing the scale properly. Because that can make a huge difference. So like something like that is actually a lot closer. They might even be a little bit larger, to be honest. Probably should have done this part first. But it's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to reshuffle some of those a little bit. And look at all that. Look, we have so much so much excess wood now. I don't know if it's worth it. Bruh. Let me look close here. Yeah, I really should have had one of those guys feed in for scale. This is where you live and learn. So what I'm going to do is, I think we can just real quick reset some of these. You know, make it feel a little bit more organic again, since the scale threw some stuff off a little bit. But like, honestly, it's going to be a lot faster to fill up the room with larger boards. And the nice thing is all these assets are already randomized for us. Unfortunately, I just did not do them at the right size. But hey, you live and you learn. Part of production. I already had my Control rig's broken because of the new Unreal Engine update, and that's okay. I just worked on them for days. Okay. Doo-doo. I mean, I can't really complain too much. These are free assets. Can you really complain? I submit that you cannot. Alright, here we go. Feeling good here, dude. I'd rather get it right, you know, than do it wrong and then be like, oh well, I did it wrong. Better luck next time. It's like, nah, if I can go back in and do it right, you know, it's not gonna take me too long. I'm already here. I'm already doing the thing. Like, let's just do it right. Do. Grab some of these boards. Fill in some of this space. I guess like the reason I didn't question it initially was because like I was just kind of assuming these were floorboard size, but there was never really any indication of that. So now it's just something I gotta deal with. And hey, that's okay. Bring it down, bring it over. Lock it in. Alright. You guys can just listen to my fan for a little bit. I don't need to duplicate. I already have enough floorboards in the scene. But again, looking on, trying to be Mr. Brightside over here. This will make far less geometry in my scene, which means better render optimization. I was going to try to run this short in real time, but I don't know if that's going to happen. That in itself might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think, I mean, it's not even necessarily a stretch. It's possible. You can do it in Unreal, right? I think the main thing is like, what's the point? And like initially it was because I wanted to do like full on like, you know, using their new class simulation stuff and all this jazz. Would have been super cool. And like I can still implement like elements of that, but I don't think it needs to be rendered in real time. I think I might save that for the next one, just to really lean into the optimization of Unreal. Because it's only going to get better. Like, I don't know if anybody saw the GDC, like, where they revealed that new Hydra game that's built in Unreal, or Captain America Hydra whatever game built in Unreal. But, like, that's crazy town. Crazy town. I'm gonna take some liberty. Just mess with some of these boards. Have this one kind of bent in. Need a little story bit. Alright. Shorten this one up. Move it over. These ones are in the corner. It's not the end of the world. This one, just we'll make it bigger. Fit it in there. That's what's nice about a lot of these assets is you can just like kind of rescale them and replace them. A lot of them are organic, like wood, rock, that kind of stuff. Drop it in. Fit properly and cool. All right, so we just have like this little bit right here, which we'll just fill out with this geometry, fit it all together. All right. Feels good. And like, right, I'm not worried about coloring inside of the lines. It can be off a little bit. I think that's fine. That is a significant gap right there, though. So let's grab a board and fill that in. Maybe just scale it down to be its own piece. This is why they needed to rebuild the sheriff's office, because it was in terrible shape. All right. So main thing here now is we have geometry that we don't want in the jail cell. So we'll push it out. Because jail cell, I think I will do a completely different floor just to separate it some. There we go. All right. So kind of how I want to do this. Delete all that geo. And then I believe there's a way to essentially do like a lasso for all the stuff outside of the jail cell. As far as inside of it, oop, there goes my floor. Cleaned up. All right. Maybe there is. I don't quite remember. I like shift. Maybe I can do it in the world outliner. Yep. So as long as it's not in the jail cell, let's just I'm gonna save just in case. Look how much geometry that is. Like, even though this is a problem, it's still like crazy impressive. Yep. Alright, so we don't want to select any of those. Delete. And we'll do the same thing. We'll just come over here. selecting too many inside. Here. Brrr. Clean up. And I'm not going to get rid of all of these, because I don't think there's a reason to. Just enough of them to be like, all right, there's less geometry in my scene. Because this was, you know, my fault. So, but I just don't feel like cleaning it up. I kind of do though. You know what I should have done? I should have built out a blueprint with all these things, and then I could have scaled it up a little bit differently. But hey, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. That's part of this whole process. Grabbing. There's one that's in there, but that's an easy replace. Yeah, we just kind of, we went overboard. We went overboard, guys. We did a little bit too much. But, all right, you know what? I'm going to call that, maybe get this little cluster. Oh, those are the OGs. That's the original corner, bruh. Oh, well. Nope, don't want to select those ones. Actually, what's just like... Yeah, now it's getting into minutia of what's around the scene. So, I mean, we have some extra geometry in our scene. Oh, well. All right, let's get to where we were last before we crashed, before there were issues there. And let's drop in our forest floor texture. Drop it on, fills in a lot of those little gaps. Looks pretty good. I'm going to see about just offsetting the tiling just to make it smaller. Maybe we go like 3 by 3. Yeah, you're not seeing any tiling there, especially under the floorboards. Not a chance. So I mean, that's already making a better floor. Which the floor in here, I don't know that I want it to be tiled or like just straight up dirt. Maybe there's like a, I don't know. We'll leave it as dirt for now. We'll leave it as dirt from now. See what it looks like, because most of the time we're going to be looking from like here in. So I don't even know that you're really going to see the floor. I think it's more important that the interior of the jail cell is brick. So maybe we do that next. Build out our brick walls. Which we can see if there's geometry for that. Because it could also be like partially brick, partially not. But I do kind of like the idea of it being brick. At least inside the jail cell. Make it a little more claustrophobic. And then we can build out a little barred window. Yeah, I think that might be cool. But, alright. So we got floor. Let's go ahead and start working on our walls. Which I know like the interior decorating is like the fun part. But we do need to get through the boring stuff first. But let's just see. If we type in brick wall. What are we going to get? So there is actually some modular brick walls in here. Ooh, this one. That one looks good. Yeah, because most of these are for like old banks and stuff. But that one up there, like it was just straight up. Just a nasty looking wall. It's already an asset. It's already textured. These look really nice too. These medieval walls. So I'm gonna say let's start picking and crafting some assets. Those ones look a little too nice. These medieval walls are definitely the cream of the crop. They're looking the fanciest. There's some concrete. I don't really want concrete. The rubble looks kind of neat, but I don't know. That feels more like war-torn. This feels a little too old. All right. So I'm going to say let's grab... Ooh, this... You know what? I'm going to grab that one too. It might be a little too nice for our prisoner, but we shall see. Where was that asset? I don't think it was this far down, was it? I'm starting to think. Yeah, no, it wasn't that far down. And then in kind of the same vein as what we did with the floor, I can inlay some of these assets to start, but then we could just grab like a nice looking brick texture and fill out the rest. Oh, it's this one right here. All right. So I don't know if I want that. Maybe we also just search for a window. We didn't lose any of our assets. That's good. These are made of wood, which like maybe we can grab those for later. But I wanted to see if they had like an iron bar. Ooh, iron gate. That might be it. We'll just hide the bottom half of the asset, so we just get those bars. So Ezekiel can spit bars in his prison cell. Know what I mean? All right. And what'll be cool for this project? So another thing that like I wanted to do more with New Frontiers that I didn't really get the chance to do was decal work. There were some decals throughout, but here I really want to like emphasize like using decals. And what a decal is it's essentially like really, really cheap scene touch-ups that you can do in Unreal. So you drag a decal in, and you know, in a lot of other 3D softwares you get it as well. But you drag decals in, and you can add weathering to things, and you can make it look really realistic. You know, like water stains, stuff like that. And I used some of it in New Frontiers a little bit. I had wanted to go in and like touch up stuff even more, but I just didn't get the chance to. Here, there's going to be a lot more opportunity to where we can repeat some of these assets, but have it to where it doesn't feel like it's repeating, because when you throw a decal on it, it makes the whole geometry look like a new piece or something that was retextured. But let's get back to Unreal. Let's save as soon as we get a chance. Looks like we're good. Alright, so let's get back into our 3D assets, and I'm going to go ahead and just refilter for static meshes. And type in brick wall. There we go. Alright. So I think it's going to be this one. No, it's this one. So let's bring this asset in. Look at that. Oh, let's turn snapping on for rotation. 90 degrees, and I'm just going to put the brick right up to the floor. And have it go from that side. I might even bring this down to here. Now I do want a window over here. And I do know that Unreal has some new modeling tools, which might be cool to implement. So let's duplicate this mesh. Save. We'll put this one on the back wall. This back wall will have no windows. And I know the jail cell didn't 100% look like this in the game. This is also partially interpretation, but here's what we're gonna try and do. So we'll bring in our duplicated wall, scale it, kind of match it to the corner, bring down the top. I think we bring the tops all the way to where that wood gap is. Really make it look just like old and decrepit. And same thing with this one. We just want to bring it down a little bit. There we go. That's where it all kind of aligns. And then we'll duplicate this wall. Push it up against here. And what's nice with this case scenario is it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be inside the lines. It can be a little scrappy. And again, who's really going to notice some of these things? Because right here, whoop, we'll have a wall. So that works. All right, so what I want to try and do here is we'll go to modeling and it'd be under deform. I want to be very careful with what I do next. Displace warp lattice offset. Dynamic mesh sculpting. Oh, polycut. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Nope, that's not what I want to do. All right. Cancel. Not that. I have not really used the stuff in here, and what I'm looking for is what they call in Blender, it's called a Boolean. But here I'm not seeing the same thing that I'm looking for. Fill holes, simplify, try select, weld, jacket, remesh, inspect. They've added so much to this. And I remember there used to be, you know what? When in doubt, this is how you make stuff, guys. Unreal Engine 5 Boolean tool. Unreal Engine 5, how to do a Boolean.
How's it going, everyone? Dale the Artist here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to do a Boolean operation inside of Unreal Engine 5. But before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to my first released indie title, Wrote It Rim. Top left corner of the UI and go to selection mode. And now choose modeling. You're going to be prompted with a mode toolbar, and I like to dock this on the left side of the screen, but you could dock it wherever you choose. And once you're satisfied, we can begin by selecting our first shape. And I'm going to use the box just for sake of simplicity. And once you select it, you can choose anywhere on the 3D viewport to place it. And hit accept once you're ready to move forward. Now you can scale this to your liking. I'm going to just scale this to be the size of a wall. And then I'll just rotate around the side, and I'll press W to switch to the move tool. And to duplicate this, you can hold Alt and move the arrow in the direction to duplicate it. And then you can rescale this or resize it to be whatever size you want to use to cut out from the original object. And once you're satisfied with the placement, you want to first select the wall and then shift select the object that's going to be cut from the original object. And you want to go to the left side of the mode toolbar, and you want to choose this icon here so you can Boolean it. And before you hit accept, you can still move this around to adjust the placement.
So it is called Boolean here too. It's just called Mesh Boolean. Where's that? Deform model. Oh, right here, Boolean. So I must have to drag in. Let's grab a cube. Drag it up. We'll give this guy a decent window. Right about there. So then he said, click your mesh, shift click the box, Boolean right there. Oh, sick. Oh, sick. Oh, snap. And then we can move this. So I'm going to say let's... Oh, it's going to have to recut it like every single time we move it. Oh, no. All right. I'm going to say that's good. Accept. All right, and then we're going to cheat this a little bit. I'm going to show you how we're going to cheat this. So we're going to go look for some brick assets. Brick. Stacked bricks, that's perfect. 2 stacked bricks, that's even better. We'll download those. We're going to fill around the window with it. And then we'll drop in, if you remember, we grabbed that gate asset. So we'll just use the metal bars from the gate and kind of put them in between. And then that's going to make the wall feel more three-dimensional to the outside. Nice little hack. So what was that called? Stacked bricks? Stacked bricks. There we go. There's a stack of bricks. And another stack of bricks. You know, they're not going to look perfect, but there's not a huge emphasis on this area. Like I had mentioned before. And like right now we're looking at like you know, the like you're kind of seeing everything because I have what's called a directional light turned on right now, which means you can see like every nook and cranny, but like when the lighting is turned on, like all of that is going to disappear. You won't even be able to tell. So there we go. That's good. We'll put some along the bottom. Like so. I'm not even gonna hide that these are duplicates. Because again, you're really not gonna see that. We'll do the same with the top. Because it just needs to feel three-dimensional out there. I might even push that to this corner because this corner you're gonna see even less of. And that's just a plus of like knowing your story beforehand. If you know what you are and aren't gonna be showing. Yeah, that's gonna get you golden. But look at this now. We've like cut out this piece of geometry and makes it feel different than this piece of geometry. And then when we add decals and stuff, that'll feel good. And now let's just go grab our gate. What was it? Rusty teapot, rusty metal lock. Worn wooden beam. Iron gate. There we go. We drop that in, rotate it 90 degrees. Oh shoot, that's got a cool knob on it. I kind of want to use it for the door now. I built the door by hand, so it wouldn't feel right replacing it. There we go. There we go. That's feeling pretty good. I don't love how it intersects with the brick, but again, like I don't think you're ever going to be able to see it. And I might use some of these cubes just to like fully envelop the building. Like now, like that like built out the whole interior here. We can put in, you know, some more touch-ups with like decals and stuff. But that's a pretty good place to be, in all honesty. So that's building out that side. Let's throw up some other walls, and then I think I might throw up a couple more walls. Get that in a good place, and then call it a night. Medieval wall. Which side looks better? We have that side. Oh, that's it. We have that side. So I'm just gonna drag this into the corner, honestly. That might look a little big. This is just going to be a fast way to get the start of an interior, because another part of this whole thing is kind of doing interior decorating to where you can have some of these assets repeat and build it out, but then when you actually fill it out with decoration and stuff, it hides so much of it. That kind of come together, and that's how these assets are designed. So like, you know, when I saw that this was called like modular wall, that tells me that like, you know, I can start dropping in this asset in a repeated way, and it's going to look not too shabby. Here it might a little. I think if I go all the way to the wall, we can sneakily get by with it. All right, so that's good. Pull it out to here. Rotate 90 degrees. Push it in. And like I said, once we add decals and stuff, like no shot. It's gonna look really nice. I might just stretch this one out just a little bit. All right, that's feeling pretty good. There's a bit of a gap here, which maybe that beam just comes down. I don't think that's going to make too much of a discrepancy. Ain't nobody gonna notice until they do. Close that dialog box. And here we go. Shorten this up. Duplicate again. I'm just going to use the same asset across the top here. Because again, nobody's going to be looking for it. Except for you guys. Except for you OGs. Like as far as the top thing, that's looking pretty darn good if I do say so myself. Alright. So let's kind of like walk through what we have here so far. So we have like a lot of this interior base built out, and like before, like it like all looked like this. It was just white walls. But now we have a pretty good interior looking area. We have some stuff that can be detailed for sure. But I think we're starting to get like most of the way there. I think the main thing... Am I covering up the corner of the jail cell? I am. There's a pipe piece right there. That butts up to the end of it. Which we can fix that way. Then we move this bar over. This bar slightly over. This is kind of annoying. I guess I can do global controls. That would help. Switch on global control to just move everything on the same axis. Should have done before, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. There we go. Now it all kind of looks like it's holding it up. And like this will create some really interesting shapes, like when I do the lighting and stuff. I think that's going to be the most neat part. But this is a pretty good place to take it. I'm going to say let's drop a couple of quick props in, just to kind of see what some areas might end up looking like. You know, get a little bit of decoration on the wall, so then I can pay attention to like, what do you see? So like, for example, like I think this right here is a problem. Just the fact that it intersects so flat like that. So adding something to be like trim, and it could honestly just be more of this metal plating. I wonder if I do this and maybe even rotate it. So we use it long ways and get more bang for our buck out of the asset. Yeah, already that is just making it look way better. Duplicate it again, use a different area of that material. Put it up against the wall. Yeah, that's mega helping. And one more time. We'll flip it all the way around so we just get a different pattern. And push it up to the cell. Push it up against the wall. Cool. That already looks so much cleaner. Delete that wooden board. All right. We're making progress. All right. Let's see. I feel like this set of the wall feels a little repetitive, so let's just bring in one of these larger pieces. And scale it up to touch the top there. And pull it over, so that's only going twice. And then this can kind of exist here, which I don't know if I want to put another window or not. I'm kind of torn right now. There is a severe lacking of windows, and this is really the only wall we can put windows on. So you know what? Let's add a window. We'll do another cube. Now that we have that little bit of knowledge, we'll put it square up in between these. Make it a bit smaller so it can go above the brick. And then we'll put a nice frame around it. So we'll select this, shift click, Boolean. For it to load. There we go. Cut out. Accept. Wait for it. Cross your fingers. Hope Unreal doesn't crash. Oh my word. Ooh, it's so close. Alright, that created some weird clipping geometry. So you can see there, like, almost folds in on itself. That's weird. But let's throw a frame in there. using, I believe I actually have a picture frame. Asset. Frame. Damage picture frame. You know what that says to me? Cute window frame. That looks good. Cool. I like it. Yeah, as long as not too much is focused on out there, and then we can kind of throw a cross section maybe right in the middle. We'll just use a board asset. Bring it up. Make it nice and skinny. Put it kind of in the middle. And rotate that this way. That. And then what we can do is I'll save that. We'll bring in, we'll get out of modeling mode. Let's grab a plane, flip it 90 degrees. Set it in. It's not clipping with the wall. We can scooch these back just a little bit. Cool. And then I'm just going to look for a pre-made glass material. Perfect. Looks fantastic. Yeah, that's great. And so like what's nice, so like we have these two windows over here, and we'll put a door here to fill in that gap. But like now for like the whole exterior, like we just got to make sure that like, you know, you maybe see like a tree or something. But because it's going to be nighttime, don't need to worry a super ton about what is in there. All right. And here we go. Also, I totally just realized that the chat, however YouTube was doing the chat, wasn't showing me you guys' messages. I do apologize. So York, thank you for dropping in. Mr. Thon, thank you for dropping in. Mrs. Coalition, my biggest supporter. And Binary Coad, is this a Red Dead 2 mod? It is not a mod. It's for a short that I'm making, short film. So this is kind of the build out of it for one of the sets for the short. But like this interior is looking pretty banger. We'll drop in a couple props and then we'll call it a night. Because I'm feeling pretty good about where this is. So let's just see what we have in here. I added a bunch before. There is some balcony trim, which could look cool. Metal pot. Put that in the corner. Oh wait, this can be the dumping pot. Hey Murder Planet, welcome, welcome. We're just getting ready to finish up stuff, but I'm dropping in a couple of just fun assets, just to see how else we can build this out. So we got old stove, that works in this setting. Maybe put it into the wall. Ooh, just barely. Old saddle, old pitchfork, old metal pot, old wooden beam. We got enough beams already. Oh, look, there was a window. I forgot we grabbed that. But we made our own. I don't know. Ours is kind of cute. Ours is kind of cute. I think I'm going to leave it. Let's see. Old wooden beam, rusty teapot. Maybe for now we just put that on top of the stove. It's a little big, but hey. Oh, there's this neat looking skull. Because it wouldn't be a Western without a skull on the wall. It's a little big though. You make RDR2 animations. I'm making an RDR short film in Unreal Engine. So this is a just, you know, something I'm making to do it. But I don't do like specifically RDR animations. I want to do like a whole bunch of animations and stuff on my channel. Wooden barrel, why not? For now, I think, yeah, let's get rid of the wooden barrel. Not inside. Oh, this bench would probably look good in the jail cell. Yeah, give this guy some furniture. Wooden. Oh. I wish I remembered I had those, because that could be a better inlet for some of these. But hey. Somebody said that RDR is a racist game. I don't think it's racist. I think it is true to the time when it came out, and I think they were very intentional about it not being like racist. Like, I think they were very intentional about, you know, either showing that that is like bad and wrong, but like they weren't overtly racist in it. If you're able to your dress and shit in the streets like this, like is tradition in your country, I have not. Mostly because I don't wear dresses. I usually pull down my pants and shit in the streets. Got 2 bookshelves. This chair's classy. Wooden stool. Throw that in the corner. Another wooden stool. I grabbed 2. That one looks like a baby one. That's a baby one. Wooden box. Wooden table. There we go. That's what we need. Bro's got himself a little table in the corner. Maybe that's where he keeps some of his stuff. I guess I'll have to play it for myself. Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it. It's a great game. I love Red Dead Redemption. I got another table? Jeez. I went thrifting for tables, apparently. Would you like for current respawn? Bruh. I don't care. Respawn is their own game company. They make great games. And I'm here for that. I'm here for the great games that Respawn makes. It doesn't need to be Titanfall 3 or Apex Legends 2. They just make good games. I like Respawn's games. Just let me have something, please. Let me enjoy life. Is this... yeah, I mean... Like, if there's anybody who's, like, being a dick, I can ban them, but... Like, yeah, I would consider this... Like, I'm not gonna... berate you for... being yourself or whatever, because I do not care. You are... all are welcome. Alright. Another wooden shelf. Dang, this guy's furniture really piled up quick. We can throw some books on here. Am I queer? No, I'm not. All right. And then there's this wooden chest. What's this wooden chest? Looks neat. This is starting to get to be a crowded set. Bro, you're just a fed. I see what you're doing. I know the games you're playing. But to answer your question, yes, I do. All right. So this, I feel like, is feeling pretty good. Maybe we'll throw some books on the shelf and call it a night. We'll call that a good stopping point when we get to it. Maybe throw this wooden thing on this guy's desk. There we go. And book time. Let's give this guy some books. Old wooden door. We need one of those. We'll just drop this in for now. Scale it way down. Oop, not like that. Yeah, we'll scale that way down, and I'm just literally going to duplicate this pane of glass because you're never going to see it on the other side. Dang, I really should have turned snapping on again. But hey, it is what it is. There is that little gap, but again, we're not going to be close enough to it for it to really matter. Sneaker Chop sent me over here. Do you do spoon rings too? I have no idea what you mean by that. Not a clue, not a clue. Dang, chat just like popped out of nowhere. It's ever since I actually switched on the chat because YouTube turned it off for some reason. Because they're like, hey, you know those followers you work hard to get? What if you just ignored them? It's like, yes, YouTube. That's what I want. Just kidding, YouTube. Alright. Lots of metal pots. Maybe we'll put one. Aw, that's nice. That's nice. We'll put a pot in a teapot. Aw, that's where he makes his coffee in the morning. Alright, and let's throw some old books on this shelf. We'll call it good after that. Who's Sneaker Chop? Now I'm curious. Because the only person I've seen... Oh, that's another pot. The only person I've seen, like, call out my channel specifically is York Reacts. Which, if you're not subscribed to York Reacts, go subscribe to him. Him and Scotch Skull. Go subscribe to those guys. If you're watching my channel, go subscribe to them. Chop is the mayor of Santa Ana. He must be a fan. W. Hey, that's cool. Is that it? Is that all our old books? Incense burner. What was? Oh, it's this thing. That might be too big. Get these old books together. Bam, bam. Bam! Bro's got a nice little reading shelf. And then maybe I'll just take like 2 and there we go. Maybe we can throw a book on his table too. But all right. So now what I mainly want to look for is, does this still work? And I actually want to see, there's one more prop that I need to see about getting, which I can probably get this. What's my ethnicity? I'm a mutt, but I am mostly Mexican. Key didn't work. They really don't have old keys? No? 3D assets. Props, maybe? Weaponry, trash, military. Storage. Storage, maybe? Is there a mustard prop? There might be. It wouldn't surprise me. They got so much random stuff in here. Rusty gas tank. So these crates and stuff look neat. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have any keys. I'm gonna have to get a different model for that. Leather water pot. That'll be for my Assassin's Creed Mirage. Let's see just real quick what these packs have in them. Assets wise. These oil lamps are pretty dope. Ooh, we'll hang one like right from here maybe. It might have to get a little bit smaller, but like it's a neat spot for it. It's like it's a really good lighting opportunity too. Make it a little bit smaller. And I can actually add, I'll have to go and grab it, but I can grab a little lit flame because they have like what looks like one here, but it doesn't look as nice as the little candle flames that I have from a different pack that was like a free one. It's like a horror dining room or something. We'll add another hook to the other side. Look nice. There's some rope. Sandbags. You said torta, and my mind immediately thought tortilla. And they do have tortillas in that pack. It's kind of great. Let's go in here under props. Sandbags, barrels, basket, bench, some bottles. Bro, maybe the sheriff. He just needs that constipation. Wait, hold up. What does this say? A crushed fruit tonic laxative. Constipation permanently. 50 cents per bottle. Bro, sheriff's got issues. Sheriff's got those issues that we should know about. There you go. You guys have the scoop, the little detail. The sheriff is constipated. Alright, let's see here. Oh, there is something I remember I had noticed from before when we were working on the outside. Is you can use the back of these as kind of like little poster frames and stuff. So that could be good just to split that up. Have something on that wall over there. Looks nice. And then maybe we put this Winchester rifle. You wouldn't want it near the prisoners, obviously. But maybe you can replace one of these shelves. And that needs... Nope, it's not that one. There we go. Material Winchester. There we go. That looks better over there. All right, so we have a pretty nice looking interior. What I'm gonna do one last final check on that test level, just to ensure that like there are no props that are intersecting where they shouldn't be. The chair is part of the scene, so that's gonna be animated. But take this. Jail cell blocking. We can even move the chair over to where this character is going to be. Scale it up to fit under the butt. I might get a different chair. I'm not sure I love that chair. It's just kind of weird looking. Am I wrong? Maybe I need to bring like the hips of the character down more, but so this is worth noting. They kind of clip through that. But the rest of the geometry looks fine. Okay, so this is the biggest problem child right now, is that little thing right there. Which I do like it. But if it's like the only thing causing problems, I don't mind moving... possibly getting rid of it. Maybe it's just a lot smaller. There we go. That clears it up nicely. And then, so the actor like scooched around the back of the chair. But it's a little offset. But I mean, this is in their final mocap, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, guys, I mean, this looks way better than where it was. It's looking fantastic. Because before it was just these white walls. Now we have an actual interior. If you missed it earlier, we made a huge mess. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I think like the main thing might be adding like a cot or a bed. Maybe in here. We can check mega scans just real quick. Bed or cot. It's gonna be like riverbed. Cot. Nope. Nothing. So I can probably find an asset for that. I mean, they probably also have chains. Yeah, there's some nice chains here, but that one's not too bad. Maybe we add hook and metal chain. Add those. Maybe throw a slab down, and that can be that guy's bed. It's just the most uncomfortable thing. I'm pretty sure I have a towel too, so maybe he has like a towel version or something like that. He ain't got no place to rest his head, the criminal. He's just alone. He's not a bad man. He's just misunderstood. I don't think he's bad. You just don't understand him. Alright, so let's say this guy's cot makes up like that end. His bench can go over here. Let's find a quick surface. We'll do it metal. Bro, that's so ugly, it's perfect. We can't get this guy a nice bed. Mega scans. Surfaces. Here we go. What was that called? Yep, this one. Throw that on. That looks great. Just straight up. And then we'll go grab, what was it, a hook? Yep, put that in the wall. Degrees. 90 degrees. Maybe a little bit higher. Go on the opposite side. Type in chain. Oh shoot, they actually do all link together. If I drag them all out, they're gonna like stack, aren't they? Oh, nope. Oh, I see. There's one asset that is all of them together, and then they have individual parts. That's nice. All right, but we just need it like this. And lead into that. Scale it up a little bit. And go over. And we'll put this that way. Tie it in. Bada bing, bada boom. Dude has a cot. And you know what? Just to make him a little more comfy. Make him not feel so alone. You know, he's got a little towel in there. They're not barbarians. You know, they want him to have a nice stay. A little bit of a pillow. All right, that's it. We're going to call it. This is looking fantastic. We came a long way in just one stream. This is even partially decorated, which is looking great. All things we can use and begin building out and off of. But I think this is a great place to be. I can certainly build from this a little bit more. But like now, like I can drop in animation, I can drop in lighting, I can put a ceiling on top. But no, set wise, this is looking great. I'm really happy with this. But all right, well, that is it for tonight's stream. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching it. A lot of great stuff building out more of this environment for this Red Dead short. So I'm pretty stoked on that. But thank you for watching. Once again, if you want to head over to Rococo, affiliate link is in the description. Also in the description is the Plot Coalition Discord if you want to go ahead and join that. We have lots of fun over there. It's where you can kind of keep up with stuff. And like when I do new projects, it's how you can get involved with them. So definitely check that out. And when you're a part of a project, we open up new channels specifically for that with the people that are directly involved. So if you want to join, that's in the description. Also, if you want to become a member, support the channel, would mean a lot and help out a ton. But that's it for now. You all have a great night.